Kick-ass facts, punctuation. Trust me, it's not as boring as it sounds. Pew, 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 pew! We'll start with one I've shared with you before, the interrobang, but you're probably used to typing it like this. Etymologically, intero comes from the Latin word interrogatio, meaning questioning, while bang is how printers denote exclamation points. It was invented by an advertising executive in 1962, and according to his obituary, the interrobang was said to be the typographical equivalent of a grimace or shrug of the shoulders. It applied solely to the rhetorical when a writer wished to convey incredulity. The irony mark. It was first printed in the 1800s. It was first proposed in the 1600s. Its intent is to precede a sentence to indicate its tone before it's read, to denote irony or sarcasm in the text. In the 1600s, it was meant to look like an inverted exclamation point. In the 1800s, it was supposed to look like a whip. And in 1966, a French author created this. The acclamation point. The French author who proposed this punctuation mark in 1966 described it as the stylized representation of the two small flags that fly at the top of the bus when a head of state visits. Okay. It is a demonstration of goodwill or welcome, so you could use it to say, "I'm glad you could make it," or "Viva Las Vegas." Probably my favorite, the sarc mark, short for the sarcasm mark. Its creator was writing an email to a friend and was attempting to be sarcastic, and it occurred to him that the English language, and probably others, lacked a punctuation mark to denote sarcasm. The sarc mark was born. The snark mark, much like the sarc mark, is used at the end of the sentence to indicate that the text shouldn't be taken literally and is sarcastic. The difference between the two, snark mark is easier to type, but it's also not patented or copyrighted like the sarc mark is. The percontation point, or rhetorical question mark. In the late 1500s, an English printing worker coined the percontation point. He wanted people to use a reverse question mark at the end of a question to show that it was rhetorical. Its use died out in the 17th century, as most people tend to know the context of a rhetorical question and therefore don't need telling. Who knew? The authority point shades your sentence with a note of expertise. It's used to indicate an order or advice that should be taken seriously, as it comes from a voice of authority and expertise, and with the authority to back up what they just wrote. It indicates that what was written should be taken seriously. Don't use it when trolling people, but definitely use it with Barbara at work. The certitude point conveys total conviction. While this may look like the authority point, the horizontal line in the certitude point does not curve downward. When using this, writers are claiming they're very confident in what they've just written, but aren't necessarily stating that they have the research to back up what they're saying. Do your own research, bro. The doubt point. The opposite of the certitude point. The zigzag shows skepticism and disbelief. The doubt point can be used instead of the 3 question marks writers mostly use at the end of their sentences to show that you are suspicious of the statement. The love point is the equivalent of using this emoji. It is 2 canoodling question marks sharing a period. Try it after a sentence such as "Happy birthday," "I love you," or "Look at my dogs." Exclamation comma and question comma. Would you like to show delight or confusion without ending your sentence? Slip one of these in there. They are used both to convey someone's curiosity or excitement at something surprising without having to end the sentence. Do you think this is okay? Question comma. Should I change it? Question mark. I can't believe you lied to me! Exclamation comma. I'll never forgive you! Exclamation point. The El Rey mark, this little 2-headed exclamation point, should be used when you're cheery but not over the top excited. When a writer is feeling positive but not literally jumping up and down with excitement. A moderate amount of excitement and enthusiasm. And finally, the because point. It is used to give information after a line of text. It is an inverted form of therefore and means exactly what the name implies, because. It's used often in maths to explain a statement. The